here. You know you got training to do.
Mom,
What's taking you so long?
I was checking your subscribers. I said I was coming.
What's that attitude? What are you checking my subscribers for?
You have 10,000.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't have 10,000 subscribers.
Go. Yes, you do. Check your channel. Go on, check it.
Look,
Check it.
my channel is small. I am not well known. There is no way I could have 10,000 subscribers.
You have 10,000 subscribers. Go on, check your channel.
See, look,
See? I told you, and you didn't listen. I told you, and you didn't. Dad. Hello? Dad?
Ben, what's wrong with your dad?
I have no idea. I think he passed out. From shock.
From his subscribers.
No, from shock.
All right. Looks like it's time for the taser.
I don't think that's a good idea.
We'll see about that.
Okay, fine.
okay, jeez. All right, I'm recording again. 3, 2. Hey guys, what's up? So 10,000 subscribers. I didn't, you know, and this may sound insane to you guys, but it never really occurred to me until well afterwards, after those videos went up, that this was going to affect my channel the way it did. And you guys might be going, what the hell did you mean you didn't expect that? Well, because of the way my channel has been run and because of how I do things, I never thought I'd reach 10,000. And some of you guys might even be thinking, I'm pretty sure most of you guys are going, 10,000, so what? Like, that's nothing on YouTube these days. These days, you gotta go crazy if you make 50,000, 100,000. That's when you're making it. No, but 10,000 that's huge to me because, again, the way I do this channel, that's not what I was expecting ever. And I'll get into that later, but before I even get into that, a huge thank you to all the people who have subscribed to get me to that number. I only hope that you'll find my channel down the line to be worthwhile and be worth your time. And considering the channel that you guys are coming from, where you saw me at to come here, that's a really big expectation on my part. Skull, in my opinion, is a consummate professional. Like, he knows how to run his channel. He made it a career, and he does what he needs to make sure that it puts food on the table. He makes very good videos, and he runs his channel very well. He knows what he's doing. Me, on the other hand, I'm a hobbyist. Like, I do this as a hobby. In fact, the only reason why I got into YouTube in the first place was to respond to someone else's video that I thought was really cool, and I just had to respond to it. This was back when you actually could respond to other people's videos. And I only kept on making videos because that dude thought that I had something worthwhile to say. K Biomech, I don't know if anyone remembers him, but he's the main reason why I kept this channel going, because he's like, no, you need to keep making videos. And even back then, I didn't expect to really get anywhere with it other than to find like-minded individuals to have discussions with. And to this day, I run this channel basically just to share my ideas with people who might be receptive to them, or who just might, just like-minded individuals just sharing ideas and having discussions on a variety of topics. Excuse me. I wasn't expecting to be YouTube famous or anything like that, and to be honest, I still don't think that that's going to happen. But that's why it's a big blow now that it's just 10,000. Like, whoa. For any of you guys who've been looking at my earlier work and even my latest work and wondering why it's so rough, it's, yeah, because I run this as a hobby. It's not a career. So for anyone who has been looking through the videos and wondering why they're so rough and why I seem to ramble on and on and on, the videos are over 20 minutes, and why the earliest ones are so messed up with the sound quality and all that, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't run this like a professional YouTube site. I run it kind of like an old school YouTube channel, back when the U actually meant something. So yeah, I still run this channel with that kind of spirit in mind, where my videos are supposed to be like you coming into my home and we're just having a conversation, even though I can't hear you. But yeah, that's basically how I do them. So for anyone who comes here, again, I thank you very much for showing up. I really appreciate the support. And I just hope that my videos will be worth it to you down the line. And in fact, now I get the feeling I'm probably going to have to step up my game a bit. But we'll see. So we might as well address, why most of you guys have showed up here in the first place. The videos that ended up on Skall's channel. This was a result of a trip that I took last month. And I took that trip because I really wanted to see Skall before he moved. This will probably come as a surprise to a great number of you, but I've known Skall for a very long time. Skallagrim he was subbed to my channel a long time ago, and I still remember quips that he had made about my beard and things like that, and I thought he was a pretty cool dude, and little by little, we, started talking. I became a very good friend of his and a very good friend of Devon, and I considered those two to pretty much be like family. I've known them for years, and we've, shared in each other's private moments, like, talking about our trials and tribulations, our troubles, the good things in our lives. I've participated in like role-playing games and things like that, not D&D, GURPS, which is a really good system. I've known them for a very long time. And in fact, they're the reason why I'm living in Washington now. They were the ones who basically told me when I was in an early bad situation, like, they were the ones saying, you need to get out. You need to come up here. They're the reason why my life ended up turning around up here, like moving into a much better environment. Now I got a pretty good job. Now I got a really, a very loving girlfriend, and things have stabilized. Things are going great. And the one regret I had was, even though I'm not that far from the Canadian border right now where I live, we just never really found the time to, meet up. And then when I found out they were going to be moving to the East Coast, I'm like, I have to make this work. So this was a personal trip. This was, I went up there to see my good friends. And I had a great time. It was really, it was great being up there, and it was sort of bittersweet because soon they're going to be moving to the East Coast, and it's going to be harder to actually go and meet them. I mean, we're still going to be communicating online, obviously, but you know what I mean. So that's why, I was up there, and that's how we were able to make the videos that you guys have now seen. And I'm going to say right now, you will not be seeing any videos of that trip on my channel. Like, he recorded things for his channel because he knew better than I did that they would be very well received. I, on the other hand, recorded nothing for my channel for two major reasons. One was because, again, this was a personal trip. This was something for me to go up and see my two good friends. And that's how I wanted to keep it. I don't mind talking about it here, but I wasn't going to be like, this is a business opportunity, which leads into the second major reason. I have been accused in the past, when the subjects on my channel leaned heavily more toward the martial arts side of things, that I was trying to ride on Skallagrim's coattails, which frustrated me to no end because, one, I've known him way before his channel blew up, and two, the main reason why I started focusing more on my passions rather than political and socio discourse is because I was starting to get a lot of attacks both on my channel and privately from people who got really pissed off at some of the serious things I was discussing, going so far as to literally bring in other crowds of hateful people just to try to give me shit. And I'm like, I'm doing this channel thing more as a hobby. It was a way for me to de-stress. I'm not going to have this channel turn into something that's now going to stress me out. So I started talking about the things that wouldn't stress me out, which annoyed some other people. But as I said back then, if you wanted me to keep on talking about serious topics, then don't send hit squads to my channel and my email. But lately, I've been able to go into the more serious topics again, and so far they've been pretty well received. But yeah, that's the reason why you will not see anything on that channel, on my channel, about the trip. I'll talk about it a bit right now, but that's that's going on. Anyway, like I said, the trip up there last month, it was great. We had a lot of fun doing the videos. We had a lot of fun trading notes back and forth on our different views on martial arts. Skall is damn good at what he does. I picked up some really good tips from him as far as manipulating the sword in the longsword fashion. He has a really smooth technique. One thing I really liked about how he maneuvered is that there were times he would attack you and change up angles in a way that looked invisible. So you think something's coming one way and then it comes in another way. It was amazing, and then the way he would do it was so smooth, and the technique that he used for it was so interesting because the way he flips his blade is a bit different than the way it's done, and you know, in my art. So I thought that was really, really cool, and I really liked trading notes with him on that. He in turn was intrigued by my footwork and the way I tend to flip the blade and flick it upwards. We talked about, like, you guys saw that in the one video where he said he found it really interesting how I pivot the blade with the center of gravity rather than, you know, with the hand like with a rapier. I, you know, showed him why that it was that we did it that way. That was cool. We traded some bare hand stuff back and forth. It was cool. I love talking shop with other martial artists. I can do it for hours. Also nerdy stuff. We were talking about that for a very long time. His sword collection is, oh my god. I can't pronounce the name of that one long sword, so I started calling it the G unit. That one long sword of his, that beautiful Albion piece. It's one thing to see it, and it's another thing to wield it. The handling that, oh my god. Whew. That sword's amazing. And you may have noticed I was able to wield it easily with one hand because the way it's balanced, yeah. It reminds me a lot of Den that I've used before. It's so beautifully balanced. Really is a great sword. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And of course, you know, we went out to eat. There's some really great restaurants out there in where they live. Really great restaurants. Some really good food. Some really nice places to chill also. This one particular beach that we were chilling at, you know, just... that was a really good place to like just chat and reflect and things. So it was a great trip, and I had a lot of fun, had a great time there, and yeah, it was a bittersweet sort of thing because I knew once I left, you know, he's gonna move, and I'm gonna see them for a while, but it's not like I'm not going to see them ever again. So, one thing I wanted to touch on a little bit more deeply though was the cutting video, and I put up in the comment section, because I was a little worried, the way that I was cutting in that video, there's a couple of things that I want to explain real quick. I don't want, and no, this is not me trying to make excuses for poor cutting or anything like that. One thing that I need to stress is despite, I don't think I'm at the level of swordsmanship that Skall is, for the simple reason that he gets to practice way more than I do. I happen to have a fairly busy schedule outside of YouTube. I'm an IT tech for a rather large company, and the hours I have to work really cut into my personal time. And when I'm not doing that, then I pretty much have to be home, you know, watching the kids, and, you know, keeping things stable here. So the little bit amount of time I do have, I don't have as much as I used to dedicate to do swordsmanship all the time. I do try to keep up my stuff like my basic drills, and the school that I go to, the International Wudang Academy, I go there when I can, and they've showed me some really good stuff. But by and large, like straight up, you know, sword sparring and all that type of stuff, I don't get to do it nearly as much as I used to. And not only that, but cutting practice, that's something that I've been doing on my own when I can. I may have been training in Chinese martial arts for a while now, but one thing that I can say with absolute certainty is that cutting training, you almost never see in Chinese martial arts. There's beginning to be a very slow revival for it, but the only person I can think of at the top of my head who actually puts that as part of the curriculum is Scott Riddell. I can't think of anyone else that actually puts that as part of the training curriculum. Not even Adam Hsu. And Adam Hsu is probably my favorite Chinese martial arts teacher. and with a lot of practical training and a lot of practical advice and some really good views on what Chinese martial arts should be trained in, like how it should be, practiced. And even then, the whole, like everything that you're seeing as far as my cutting ability is pretty much self-taught. And there was a certain way that I used to cut, which while I was using some good strong body mechanics, it was mostly percussive cuts where the arm and my stepping was doing the work. But ever since I got in with the Wudang Academy, they've been showing me that I need to incorporate the waist a lot more, because that's how they manipulate the sword. And in fact, there's even some treatises and some like old sword device where there's an old adage that basically goes, cutting is with the waist, thrusting is with the legs. And so one thing that I happen to do when I'm cutting, I don't just cut. Like, I do, one thing I do need to stress, and some people were wondering about this, like, saying that you weren't having any fun. It looked like you have, I always have fun cutting up targets. I mean, come on. I'm swinging around a sharp, shiny object and slicing things in two. You got to be dead inside to not have fun doing that. Of course I have fun doing that. And Skall's a fun guy to hang out with. I mean, we had a blast. A lot of laughs. A lot of goofing around that actually didn't make it in that video. But when I'm cutting, I don't just cut. I'm actually training something every time I cut. So there might, like, the number one thing that I train in when I'm doing cutting is a technique. So you may have noticed, like, for instance, I'll have the sword here, and instead of just spinning and cutting the thing, sorry about the noise, I'll go like this and then cut, and I might step at an odd angle before doing it. The reason why I go here first and then do that is because I'm training a block and then counter maneuver. That's the most basic cut that I do, where I hold the sword in front of me, then I act like there's a blow coming in, which I cause it to deflect and slide off my blade. I let it slide off and I come down and cut. So I'm not just cutting a target. I'm cutting the target and training a blow at the same time so that I know if I was doing that in real life, the cut would work. This is something that is severely lacking in a lot of sword training curriculums, especially the Chinese ones. So it's something that I do a lot. So if you see me doing a weird maneuver before cutting down, I'm actually practicing that. And another thing was I was trying to learn how to incorporate the waist. So you may have seen a weird thing where I'm twisting into it. That I know normally they say you don't twist, but the reason why I'm twisting is to train myself to use the waist to do the cut. Because if I can do this only, and it's able to cut, then when I do this with the step, it's definitely going to be true. But right now, learning how to do this when I've not done it like this exaggerated before, to really get that core into the slicing motion, that's something that I'm having to rework into the way I move, and it really shows in that video. Now, I'm not saying that I think I totally sucked in that video. I'm just saying that I don't think it's at a high level. I think there's a lot. Skall shows his technique was so much smoother. Now, granted, the way I do like doing it, I'll go like, I'll do the deflective motion and then snap down to make the counter because, it's like boom, boom. But I want to make sure that that motion is able to get through that target and cut it properly. So that's some of the stuff that you're seeing there. And also, I should stress that most of my sword training is with the Jian, not the Dao. So even though I was able to cut pretty effectively with that Dao, and that sword was amazing, when I was doing, that's actually a traditional motion that you saw me doing like that to cut, but I felt that the wrap needed to be tighter. The Dao was not my weapon, the Jian is, so. But, yeah, I mean, I do still have some experience in cutting. Like, I at least know how to cut a target. I do know how to hit where I want it to go for the most part. And some of those moves you saw where I was hitting a balanced piece of the stuff and all that. Yeah, I used to do that with bottles in my backyard all the time. Like I've trained in that for a very long time, but now I'm trying to learn how to cut more efficiently, which is sort of putting me back in the, back to the drawing board, so to speak. So that's kind of what you're seeing there. I was trying to explain that with my comment. I wasn't necessarily saying that I thought I sucked, and I wasn't saying that I wasn't having fun. It was more me saying that whatever you see on that screen, even if you like it, I personally feel that I could have done better. I'm not saying I was horrible. I'm just saying I think I could have done better, and I've cut things with better technique before. So, but let's just leave it at that, because I still had fun doing it, and overall it came out well. So, I guess that now leads me back to this channel, and what people should expect, all the newcomers coming here. I need to stress that my channel is not purely a martial arts themed channel. It never has been. This is pretty much a channel where I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. And it started out as a channel with social commentary. I used to talk about religion. I used to talk about politics. I used to talk about philosophy, things like that. That's what my channel used to be known for, way, way, way in the past. And I'm kind of bringing that back, though that's not going to be the main focus either. This channel is ultimately about what I feel like talking about. And these days, I really like talking about martial arts. I like talking about so-called geekdom and nerd stuff. So I talk about video games. I talk about RPGs, you know, things like that. And of course, the more serious side of things, like the last video I put out is very reminiscent of videos I used to put out. So if anybody new coming here, they want to know what to expect, pretty much expect a mix of that. I want to kind of make it in the way I originally wanted to make it on this channel, but life kept getting in the way. I wanted to do one video a week where the first one's martial arts, second one's serious commentary stuff, third week is geek stuff, fourth week is whatever the hell I feel like. And that's more or less sort of falling apart, though I'm still trying to do it that way. And now that I've gotten many more people on here, I'm thinking I need to kind of kick my own ass to kind of get in gear with that sort of schedule. So I do, and I gotta kind of beef up the video production, I guess. And I definitely have to beef up my editing skills. I've pretty much been editing these videos the same way ever since day one. Black intro with white letters, I talk in the middle of it, black screen with white letters at the end, and that's it. The drum loop playing in there came later when YouTube really started getting crazy with music, copyright strikes. So I just made my own drum loops and put those in there. And I mean, my editing tends to be pretty minimal. I tend to just edit out mistakes and that's it. But now I'm realizing I really need to start editing for clarity and brevity. Because let's face it, not everybody's going to want to come to a video where I'm rambling at them for 20 minutes or more. I know I need to work on that. I also want to kind of rework the look of the channel itself. Those playlists I have there are long overdue for reworking. There's a lot of stuff that needs to, like new material that needs to be put on those lists. And some of those lists are just outdated. I need to get rid of them. Like the VoteBot list, who cares about that one anymore? And there's a whole story behind it. If you guys really want to know the reason for the VoteBot list, I'll tell you later. But yeah, seriously, I need to just work on that. And I also need to do a hell of a lot more QAs. I used to want to do one QA a month, and that's sort of fallen apart because of real life getting in the way. But I do miss doing those, and I would like to bring that back as well. Plus, for those of you who want a little bit more collaboration between me and Skall, if I do more QAs, there's more of a chance that that could happen. Whereas if I keep doing things the way I'm doing it now, I can't guarantee that. So, all right. So and then there's Patreon. That's definitely needed some reworking. Those of you on Patreon who have continued to support me, thank you very much for that. It is greatly appreciated, and I can't count the number of times that money's actually helped out in the past. That money was originally supposed to be just help out the channel, like for instance, get better cameras, get some lighting in here, good background and things like that. I mean, again, Skall's a consummate professional. He has a room dedicated just to recording the YouTube channels, and I was there. It's an impressive setup for what it is. Me, I'm speaking right now to a Logitech C90 webcam, C920 webcam. That can't even go to its fullest potential. That's why the footage looks like this. When I'm outside, you want to know what camera I'm using? This, my HTC 10. This is my gear, guys. This is what I'm working with. So, yeah, some of that Patreon money I wanted to use to try to beef up the set. But that money, to be perfectly honest, especially in the past, back when I was still living in Indiana, that money sometimes meant the difference between going to work or not. Like, man, I'm running low on gas money. Oh, snap, the Patreon money came through. Now I can drive to work. So when I keep telling you guys, you have no idea, like, it is greatly appreciated, I really mean it. It's saved my butt quite a few times. And I think you guys deserve a lot better than the way it's set up now. I really want to rework the tier system, and I really want to start incorporating you guys into more things. That's why, several months back, I wanted to have that meeting with all of you guys to come up with a tier system that you guys would be willing to, you know, go along with. Because I believe that if you're willing to throw me even 5 cents, I mean, that's money. You deserve to have a say in how things are going to be structured on that end before I change it up. And I still would like to talk to you about reworking the tiers before I do that. Okay, so that's that. As far as the Patreon stuff, for those of you who have supported me, I thank you sincerely, and I will be communicating with you guys even more than that. I have been communicating with you guys, but I'm going to be communicating even more so, and trying to rework things with you. Speaking of Patreon, one of the things that people tend to see when they join Patreon is being able to go to a Discord server. I'm still wary of that. The reason why is because I am not certain that I can put in the proper amount of time to properly run a Discord server. I used to help run message boards, and I have been a moderator on a couple of other Discord channels and other message boards and other channels, period. And I can tell you that, one, you really have to be on point and making sure that things run smoothly and you don't have any jackasses running around in there, if you know what I mean. And two, I can be a real tyrant when I'm dealing with nonsense. And I'm a little scared of running a Discord server only to then go ape on anyone who decides to abuse the hospitality of that channel. I'm not too sure if I want to subject you guys to that. I'm not saying I'm a complete nutcase, but I'm definitely one of those 3 strikes and you're out, and when you are out, you are definitely out, no second chances, and I don't tolerate BS. It's gotten on a couple of people's bad sides, and between that and my lack of time, I'm not too sure if a Discord server is a smart move to do right now. Maybe in the future, maybe I can set something else up, especially if I can get some people who I can trust to help moderate it. But for now, that's something that I'm going to have to kind of put on hold and think about. That being said, I am on Discord, and I'm seriously thinking about maybe, depending on what tier you're in, maybe we can set something up, or at least know what my name is, or at least set up some private meetups. I wanted to do that anyway, so there's that. So I guess, sorry about the noise, that's about it. I was thinking about some other stuff to mention, but this video's gone on long enough. I've rambled on long enough. I can't thank you guys enough for thinking that this channel has been worth spending your time with, both the newcomers and the people who have been here for, some of you guys, since the very beginning. The fact that you're still willing to come to this channel and see what I have to say is overwhelming, to be honest with you. And as long as people are willing to hear what this, weird dude in his small little corner of the internet has to say, then I will keep doing it. I really hope that you guys, continue to find something to take from the videos I do. Like, I just hope it gives you guys something interesting to either think about, or even if it's just you get entertainment out of it, or you get something to laugh at. As long as you get something out of it, I'm good. I feel like I've done my job. So, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate all the kind words that I noticed towards me in Skallagrim's videos. I didn't realize just how many people really liked, the few times I show up. So that was very overwhelming also. I'm still not exactly sure how to take all that. But yeah, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. And thanks once again for Skallagrim and Devon for always being there. Like, they've always had my back, and they quite frankly are the best friends that I've ever had. This is really, if I start talking about them, we're going to be here for like another 20 minutes. So pretty much thanks to everybody, and I hope that we'll continue to do good in your eyes. Take care, and yeah, catch you guys later.